we're ready to get something done. So I got the path bladed off with the dozer that leads down here to the pond for our access path. We did get about 1 inch of rain over the weekend, so it's a little bit muddy. But I think I got this scraped down good enough where the truck can come in here and pull up there and back down. Today we've got to load out the pile of sticks and brush that I raked up, and then I'm going to head off into the pond to start laying some of that mud back, and we can start loading it out and hauling it off. Moment of truth. We want to make sure the dump truck can actually come up the, I know it can come down, but make sure it can go up the slope empty, and then we'll try it out loaded. Maybe not a full load. Not exactly sure. I probably can't really push on that tailgate. That was good enough for him. I'm not going to put a full load in it. But this is the job we got the tailgate for. Obviously not for hauling this brush, but all the mud in the pond that's got to go up that hill. And to try to keep it from pouring all out, we opted for a tailgate. I didn't get any video. Last week we put it together. It was a bit of a pain. It was definitely not as easy as I thought it was going to. Well, I knew it was not going to be easy. It ended up being a little extra, but it's on there now, so that's all that matters. So John's off hauling a load to the landfill. Someone jump in the truck. I got maybe 2 loads left. So here is the, boy, that sun's bright. Let's go to this side. Well, somebody put a bucket in the way. Anyways, there's the tailgate. And pretty much how it works is it's got arms on it, and there's a plate on the truck right here from the factory, and this adapts to it, and there's a bushing in there and some bolts, and you put all that together and it pivots right there. And then you mount this framework right here to the frame of the truck, and it's got a steel cable that attaches right here, and you can adjust it if you need it to go higher or not as high as whatever. And it's just a cable that goes up there to that pin, and as you raise the bed up, this gets tight and it just pulls the tailgate up, and as you let it down, it just flops it back down. So pretty simple but effective. Works good for yeah, that cylinder's leaking, I know, gotta get that repacked. But pretty much all this mud, as you can tell, we're going up a pretty steep grade, and it will just all pour out the tailgate. So the back of the truck without the tailgate, so that's what we got, the tailgate. That's probably not great for hauling brush. In fact, I know it's not going to work at all, so we'll probably keep the tailgate on here for moving dirt until we have to haul brush again, and then it'll probably come off and probably won't come back on until we have to haul mud. It's actually a royal pain to put that thing on, get it all lined up perfect. Because you pretty much have to hold this whole tailgate up that weighs like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds with a machine, and then get those 3 bolts perfectly lined up to fit into that bushing in there. And it's a whole lot easier said than done, but it's on there, and we're gonna haul some mud with it. Let's go watch me dump out this up here where our staging area is. The mud and brush is gone. I'm going to make my way all the way back over there, and I got a little bit to clean up over there, and then start cutting out the area that's going to be dredged out for the pond, start transferring some mud back. So got a lot to do today. All the way over here to where I cut my little diversion ditch through here. And I'm going to try to just lay a map right there. Well, how many do I have? Might be able to put 2 of them in there. What the engineer wants me to do is come over here, and we're not really doing anything past this ditch, but just kind of clean up this brush and everything. They put here machine. Scrape up the trees and everything. Pretty much see everything flagged right there. What I gotta do is just kind of pat this back down, but that's my area that I'm dredging out right over there. Whoop. I think this ground right here should support me without mats. So I'm just going to kind of get all the vegetation and rotten trees up. Pretty much just going to break up into a bunch of mulch. But it's kind of an eyesore directly across from the house. Let's see how solid that is. I don't think we need mats. Grab all this mess right here and rake it back over here to where I'm clearing, dredging everything out. That should really clean this side up just a little bit better. A lot of people say I should leave all this stuff for fish habitat. Yes, I do agree, but what becomes of it is every rainstorm we get, it floods down to the overflow and clogs it up. So it's nice to have it for the fish, but it becomes a hazard for the pond because all this stuff plugs up the overflow, and then it floods over the dam, and if that happens, the next thing you know, you don't have a pond. So you kind of lose some fish habitat to safety of the pond. Is kind of the way I look at it. But to each their own. This should be covered up pretty good when the pond's full. So before I start doing, I'm going to start digging. I'm going to go up there and grab the laser out of the truck. I got some benchmarks on the ground that I showed you on day 1. I've got to pull some grades off those, transfer them out here to the flags that I have, and kind of see how that lines up. Because I have depths on the set of plans I have for everything that's flagged. so I'll know how deep to dig to get the elevation for the new water level. I'll probably start right over there by the bank, start cutting that out and pulling that slope down. That way I'll have a nice area for everything to start draining to. Of course I can't reach it. Getting a little wet there. Will that clean that up nicely? I'll get the rest of that when I do the other side down there. Oh, that's fine right there. I'm sure the landscapers are going to come in here when it's all said and done and go in the woods and pull out all the rotten debris, clean everything up nice. Time to start dredging. So I'm having to lower my diversion ditch that I cut down this far side. The flags are where I'm supposed to start digging, but somebody got off on their grades a little bit, so I got to come down to about this stump right here and skim some off and then get to our target depth. Yeah, so having to do that, I needed to lower my ditch down some and actually tie it back into the creek channel. So what I'm doing is just come down here and digging this, and that way all that will drain out as I dig that deeper up there. Come past my flags a little bit, do a little skimming to get the proper depth. I figure this is probably the easiest way to skim. That's a pretty good mat, so I'll just keep it over there. Some of them are kind of borderline on breaking. Like this one. better days. But it still works. So I skim, then I dig some, then I skim it again. And I dig my ditch deeper in the process. Dump mud. I stack this mud, the more it should dry out. Also, the more I move the mud, the wetter it gets. It's like putting it in a blender. It's fine on the first scoop, gets iffy on the second one, third scoop, Problem is, I've got to move it about, I don't know, 10 times because, well, other than short of a helicopter, it's the only way I have to get it out. A lot of scoopy scoops. We got the tailgate on the dump truck now. It would just be nice if the dump truck could back down here, but that is definitely not going to happen. it's good enough to level up. move that mat back some. Oh, I'm sinking. Oh, the joys of mud. Come on. We're going down like the Titanic. Boy. Wonder why that was so soft right there. Well, at least I know there is solid ground down there. You just got to get to it. So I'll only sink about 4 feet before I stop. You can get stuck in 4 feet of mud. Do it again. Making my way through the swampy mess. Cutting grade. So that's literally how much it's got to be cut down. Got a benchmark set right here now, so I can pull my grade off that. Bring it back up to the head section. Well, this is a wrap for today, so a decent day. Got all that stuff out, hauled away. Came in here and did my clearing over there and had a little setback trying to figure out grades with the engineer, but we got the benchmark set for that. And I made my first cut, so as you can tell, it's a fair amount of a cut right there. Now I got that daylighted out into the pond, so hopefully any of this groundwater that comes out will run down my ditch and then out and not stand in here too bad. We'll find out tomorrow when we get here.